And hello there, lovely people. Today I'm pondering the power of the written word. So you might like to hang around and hear about some of my handwriting adventures. If you're new to me and to my couch, welcome to you. My name is Toni Kenyon. I am a rockstar romance and billionaire romance author, and I live in Auckland in New Zealand, and you are visiting me today on my trusty red couch, where once a week I come to you for 5 or 10 minutes just to give you a sneak preview or a sneak look into my life and what's happening with me. And so today I thought I would talk about the power of the written word. I like writing. I like writing on the keyboard. I like writing by hand especially. I have written by hand for a really long time. When I was in school, I was one of those girls who did shorthand and typing classes, and we used to write shorthand with pens that my parents bought me a very, very special fountain pen that had a beautiful gold nib. And I used it for years and years and years, and I just loved writing with that pen. I loved the way that the pen felt, that the nib of it felt as it ran across the paper. I loved the flow of the ink. I loved the smell of the ink when I filled it. I just loved everything about it except when it leaked all through my school bag and all those sorts of things. And I have had, I think, pretty much a love affair with words and pens for a really long time. And I've journaled for most of my life, and I'm a firm believer in the power of journaling. There's something about words going from here, down your arm, out your fingers, onto the page. There's something about removing all of the interesting thoughts that are going on in the head and getting them out on paper. It clears the mind. It's like a written form of meditation for me. And when I first started writing fiction, I would get in my car and I would drive down to the local beach, and I would have an exercise book, probably about yay big, that had lines in it. And I counted when I wrote, I could write roughly about 200 words a page in the exercise book. And I would sit down, and every morning I would write 2 pages of the story that I was working on. And as it happens, a large portion of the first books that I wrote were written that way. And going down to the beach every morning and sitting on the same park bench, come rain, well, if it was raining, I would stay in the car. But even if it was winter, like it's the middle of winter here at the moment, and you can see the sun behind me streaming in through the blinds, even on a winter's day in Auckland, we're blessed that it can be beautiful down at the beach in the morning. And I would sit all rugged up on the bench at the beach with my pen, and I'd start writing. And I would watch the people who walked up and down the beach, and some of them would wave when I was going there often enough. And I got to know the man who would come and empty the rubbish bins, and he used to give me magazines with the front covers chopped off that he picked up from somewhere. And you get to know an amazing cross-section of your community when you're sitting at the beach writing your story. But every day, it was that practice of everyday writing that even though I was only writing 400 words, I would write those 400 words every morning, 5 days a week at the beach. And there was something wonderful about my time there and the act of writing out on the page. And I actually had other writers who would get really terrified for me because, of course, there's no form of backup when you've been writing in an exercise book. And they were like, what do you do? And I was like, well, I'd actually then come home and type it out. And it was sort of like going from the handwritten first draft to the second draft. Hi, Nicole. Nicole is waving. I don't even know how to wave back to you, Nicole, but I will thank you. I'll wait. How about I wave the old-fashioned way? Then that would become my second draft, typing it out, and things would change a little bit, or the interesting part of that process was I'd sometimes think, oh, I just need to say this, and then I'd realize another sentence down that I'd said it, and so I'd have to rush back and take it out of the second draft because I'd already got it in the first and things like that. So it was, for me, it was a a lovely way to write. And if I get stuck, I think I talked last week, or maybe the week before, about some of the things that I do if I get stuck while I'm writing. It might have been last week because I was talking about walking. And walking by the beach is one of the things that helps me get unstuck. And I wonder now sometimes whether that is actually the walking by the water, or whether it's because when I first started writing, I had that habit of sitting at the beach, and there was just something that unlocks in my brain that says, oh, we're at the beach, so we should be writing. You know, I always find that whenever I go to the beach, I get lots of ideas for stories, and I'd be interested to hear if anybody else has got any of those kind of experiences of having the same habit over and over again, and it's sort of clicking in that old Pavlov's dog theory about dribbling when you feed, you know, when you get the dog food out, whether there's something that doesn't happen in the mind to click into that story creation mode, or whatever that thing is that you have, whether it's you go somewhere to exercise, or you know, you walk past a certain restaurant and a certain thing happens, whatever, any of those experiences. But for me, it's, you know, writing and the beach are tied together, and it may well be because I spent so much time down at the beach writing. So yes, so anyway, so that's my little story about, and I wrote 2 entire books that way. I've got exercise books like this in handwriting, you know, handwriting, sitting up in a cupboard somewhere that I haven't got the heart to get rid of, because they were the very first books that I wrote. And I love the stories, and they've since been edited to, like, you know, so different from where they started, but edited and published, and that's a really lovely thing. But it's lovely to have the original drafts sitting there as they were penned at the beach. And I've got some notes here, about handwritten notes about other things, so which I have covered. I've covered them off, which is good of me. I still like writing every day. I still do a lot of handwriting and a lot of journaling, especially around my own emotions and keeping myself safe and well. And if it's something that you haven't tried, try it. You know, if you've got something that's worrying you, write it out on a piece of paper. Burn it, tear it up, bury it in the garden. I've got a worm bin. I feed a lot of stuff. The worms have eaten a lot of evidence of some of the insanity that goes on around here. Write it out. See if it helps. See if just getting it out of your head settles the nonsense that's going on in your mind and relieves your emotions. That's my experience. And I love writing and coloured pens. You know, take me to a stationery shop. I'm the biggest sparkly pen purchaser out. And I love stickers and things too. So I have journals that are covered in stickers and glittery writing and all sorts of wonderful things that you think are only reserved for children, but they're actually not. A lot of us need to play, and a lot of us forget how to play, and playing with words and the power of playing with words is one of the things that I love. So there we are. That's my word play for the week. The King brothers are coming along happily. I'm very much enjoying the story again. And I have decided to put the first 12 weeks, like a little, it's about 30,000 words, first 12 weeks together in a book that I'm going to give to you lovely people. So keep an eye out for that. It is currently sitting on my hard drive, all being mashed together at the moment, and having a cover put on it, and turned into MOBI files and EPUB files, and I will load it somewhere so it's going to be easy for you to download, and then I will send you a link and you can go and download it. So if you're not on my newsletter lists, I'll leave a link here for you to join so that you'll know when that's coming out. If you are on my newsletter lists or you're in my Red Couch group, you will get a notification for that, so keep an eye out. It just means that if you've been enjoying the story, which I know an awful lot of you have, you can have the first 12 chapters all bunched together in one tidy package. And as we progress, I will add to that and give you an update. So that's where we are with the King brothers at the moment. And I think that's all I've got for you this week. I am happily practicing yoga every day, which has been fun. I will either be, as I said in a Facebook post last night, I will be as supple as a willow by the end of my 30 days, or I'll be in traction at hospital, so we shall wait and see. Thanks for being here. give me a wave like Nicole has. That's lovely. Pop a little heart on here when you're watching later. That would be really cool too. And I will look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care for now. Bye.